Okay, section 5.2. Now we're going to get onto the metric system, length and area, which probably a lot of you, if you're born here in America, you are not very much accustomed to because we don't use this as much. But it's something, I mean, it's a lot easier to convert between, you're going to see. Okay, so in this one we're going to convert between metric units of length. Be familiar with metric prefixes, mega, giga, tera. Convert between metric units of area. Okay, let's just take a look at our little metric units of length. And once again, these are going to be given to you, but I'm just going to be giving you the tables. You're going to have to know how to convert in between them. Okay, so whenever we take our main assessment, you will have some sort of like conversions things on there, but I will be giving you all the formulas. So procedure here. In the metric system, okay, a 0 is written to the left of the decimal point if there is no whole number part. Something we've kind of been used to being doing right now. You notice I do that a lot, like 0.287. Okay, no commas are used in writing numbers. If a number has more than 4 digits to the left or to the right of the decimal point, the digits are grouped in threes from the decimal point with a space between the groups. So 25 space 000 meters or 0.000 space 34 meters. Okay, I'll be honest, this is something I forget to do all the time. Okay, I probably won't be super picky, but guess what? Hawks probably will be, so be warned about that. Okay, and then using unit fractions to convert measures. Same as before. In the metric system, the numerator should be the units of measure of the desired result. The denominator should be the original units measure. It's the guy we're trying to get rid of. Okay, so let's do some examples here. Notice on this first one we got 5.6 meters equals how many centimeters? Well, let's look it back up here and notice that, let's look up the meters. 1 centimeter equals 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. So we can come over here and know that we're going to be getting rid of our original one we want to stay with is going to be the centimeters. So let's maybe just keep him on top. We know that 100 centimeters. Okay, so we'll keep the 5.6 m here. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to multiply that by 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. Well, notice now what's going to happen is the meters are going to cancel, and then we can go ahead and multiply this out. Just since we're doing by hundreds, we can just move that decimal place over. So you're going to have 560 centimeters. Okay. Well, notice here that we got 23.5 centimeters equals how many millimeters? Well, let's go and put down our 23.5 centimeters. We know that that's going to be the guy we're going to get rid of. And let's put it this way. We know we're going to multiply this, and we know this is what's going to have to happen. Something is going to have to be here. A centimeter is going to have to be on the bottom. Millimeters is going to have to be on top. Okay? Well, good thing is, and just for sake, I know that 10 millimeters equals 1 centimeter. We'll notice here that the centimeters cancel off, and notice we're multiplying by a 10 again, so we're just got to move that decimal place over to the right by 1, so we get 235 millimeters. Notice by using all these tens and ones, and you're going to see thousands, it makes the conversion very simple. You can almost do it in your head. Notice I haven't had to get my calculator out yet. Okay, so let's kind of keep going here. We got 375 millimeters equals how many meters? Well, let's come in here. We're going to do the 375 millimeters, and we're going to multiply that by, well, I don't know yet. I don't know my conversions yet, but I can come in here and know that I'm going to need millimeters on the bottom, and I'm going to need meters on top. I apologize for my horrible writing. When you go back and look at your deal, you can see that 1 meter, okay, equals 1,000 millimeters. Well, notice that the millimeters here are going to cancel out. 375 times 1 equals 375. Okay? And what's good is notice we're dividing by 1,000, which means that we're going to take this decimal point and we're going to move it over 1, 2, 3. Because remember, when we divide by 1,000, instead of multiplying by 1,000, we move the decimal place to the left. So this is going to end up being 0.375 meters. Okay, notice once again, the measurements are pretty, I mean, you still got to memorize some things, but the math is a lot more simple. Okay, all right, let's do another one here. We got 1055 meters equals, well, sorry, let me get rid of that equal sign because we're not doing equals. We're converting. Okay, so we're going to multiply this guy just from sheer repetition. I know that we're going to have to go ahead and multiply this guy. And whatever is going to happen, I'm going to have a meter on the bottom. And since this is my guy that I want to end with, I want to make sure that kilometer ends up on top. So once again, now this time I'll go ahead and go back up to the deal. How many kilometers in 1 meter? Well, let's look. Looking through here. Here we are. Look at this. 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. So we can come all the way back down here and put in 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. Well, once again, we got 1,055 meters. Okay, the meters are going to reduce out. Well, come over here and I'm going to get 1055 all divided by 1,000. Once again, I'll take that and go 1, 2, 3. And so I know now that 1,055 meters actually equals 1.055 kilometers. Alright, so let's continue on. Let's look at another little example here. So change 56 centimeters to meters using a metric conversion line. Okay, notice here that 2 units to the left. I've got centimeters here. Notice I've got millimeters, centimeters, decimeters, meters. I do forget the DM, hectometers and kilometers. I do forget this one right there actually. Okay, so notice that 2 units to the left, okay, is meters. So notice here, 2 units to the left. Well, that means I'm moving that decimal 2 units to the left. And so therefore you can see why the conversion is so nice. Okay, so let's look at another one here. Okay, let's change 13.5 meters, okay, which we know is right here, to millimeters. Well, notice we've got this conversion line, so we just go over 1, 2, 3. I'm taking my decimal place, I'm moving it over 1, 2, 3. Remember, we don't put commas, okay? And that's how one of these metric conversion lines work. This is why the people like the metric system so much, is you can convert backwards and forwards very, very simply. Okay, everything's a base 10 system, very simple. Okay, here we are. Let's look at the prefixes of mega, giga, and tera. You've probably heard these if you do anything sort of like with computers, especially gigabyte and terabyte. Okay, so look at kilo. Kilo means 1,000. Okay, mega, 1 million. Giga, 1 billion. Tera, a trillion. So 1 kilobyte, hence the computers, 1,000 bytes. Megabyte, 1 million. 1 gigabyte, 1 billion. Okay, and then 1 terabyte, 1 trillion. Okay, so these are going to be things, like I said, they use them a lot for computers. So how many pixels are in 12 megapixels? Well, let's look back over here at mega. What does mega mean? Mega means 1 million. So if we're going to have 1 million, we can come here and go, okay, well, 12 megapixels. Well, let's look at this. 12 megapixels. I want to make sure I write that right. Okay, well, let's look at this. How many pixels? Okay, there's 1 million pixels. And yes, I know I shouldn't have used the horrid comma there, but that's going to equal 1 megapixel. Okay, we'll notice the megapixels, they cancel out, and this is supposed to be pixels right here. Okay, we'll notice then we've got 12 times a million, so we're going to have 12, okay, oops, sorry, let me write this correctly, 12 million, and I'm going to try to be very nice about this and go 12 million, and notice I did not use the commas this time, pixels. Okay, so that's how many pixels there are in 12 megapixels. And a pixel, I mean, I can even give you the, if you look at your computer screen right now, which is where you're watching this, there's pixels on your screen. So that's how that would work right there. Okay, so let's do another one here. I'm going to have to erase this to make some room. Okay, let's come in here and let's look at the next one. Let me delete this. Delete all that so that way we can do the next one here. So how many terabytes are there in 17, looks like 17,458,000,000 bytes? Okay, well, let's look at this guy very carefully. We've got 17,458,000,000 bytes. Okay, well, what we need to look at is, we know we're getting rid of the bytes, right? We're looking for terabytes. So I know that no matter what happens, I want to keep the terabytes on top. So I'm going to put that right here, terabytes. Okay, and I know that I'm going to get rid of bytes. So let's see here. Let's look, how many terabytes? Well, 1 terabyte has how many bytes? Let's take a look. And it says it has 1 trillion. So we got 3, 6, 9, 12 zeros there. So notice we're going to come in here, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I'll be nice this time, and let's go ahead and make sure I get rid of the dreaded comma. Okay, well, you can work that out on your calculator, or you can come in here and just go, okay, well, I'm dividing by 12 zeros, so I'm going to need to come in here and count over 12 zeros, which means I'm going to have to come in here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so that's going to put my decimal there, and I'm going to have to add on a 0 and put a 0. So my eventual number, notice how the bytes are now gone, okay, is going to be 0.017458 terabytes. Okay, and you could have done that on your calculator too, but that's a lot of numbers to be putting in into your calculator. So notice that even after all those amount of bytes, doesn't matter, you've not even equaled 1 terabyte yet. So let's continue on here, do a couple more. Converting metric units of area. If you remember area, we always kind of use area, and we're going to do the same thing with metric units, is we still use that square symbol. Okay, so that's area, when something is centimeter squared. Okay, so let's kind of just do an example of one of these. We'll do a couple. Okay, convert each unit of measurement using unit fractions. 5 centimeters squared equals how many millimeters squared? Okay, so we got this 5 centimeters squared here. We know he's the top one. I got to get rid of him. Okay, I know my millimeter squared. That's the guy I want to keep. In fact, I need to get rid of that equal sign, and let's make that a multiplication sign. Okay, so we're multiplying this. Okay, and I want to get rid of the centimeters squared. So we can come back up here and look and go, well, there is 1,000 millimeters squared for every 1 centimeter squared. So, what do we say, 100? So we can come in here and go, okay, well, there is 100 millimeters squared for every 1 centimeter squared. These are going to cancel. We can do the multiplication straight over and know that we got 500 millimeters squared. Sorry for my horrible writing there. So that would be how we would convert between there. Okay. And let's do one more little conversion that we need to know about, and that is converting metric units of area. Okay, and these are just land areas. Okay, I think this is an acre and this is a hectare. Okay, so this is 1 hectare equals 100 meters squared, and then 1 hectare equals 100 acres, which equals 10,000 meters squared. So let's look at this one. Okay, convert 3 kilometers squared to areas. Okay, so let's look at this one, and how would we do it? Well, being very careful, we know that we have 3 kilometers squared. Okay, so here's our 3 kilometers squared. Okay, we can multiply that by knowing that it takes 10,000 A to equal 1 kilometer squared. Notice now that these are going to cancel out. Okay, so once that happens, we can just do our multiplication and realize that 3 kilometers squared is equal to 30,000 areas. And there you go. And that's how you do conversions with metrics units of land. Once again, just a lot of practice and you're going to be able to get good at this. It's something that's not easy, especially remember there's just so many conversions, but meters is so much easier.